Yo, I'm DJP Coaching, and in this video I want to show you how to make a jump up bass that sounds like Logan D, Low Down Deep, plays recordings a little bit, and Dominator, that sort of vibe. And yeah, let me show you what it sounds like.
I grew up for fucking screw up. I grew up for fucking screw up. I grew up for fucking screw up. Got introduced to the game, got an ounce and fucking blew up. I grew up for fucking screw up.
Yeah, so what I want to specifically show you today is this sound right here. Yeah, so obviously mind the pops and stuff, that's just the ducking from the side chain and stuff like that. So I want to just break it down really methodically and as simple as possible, really, because a lot of this stuff looks complicated, but it's actually serving a really easy purpose. And once you know the process, you can easily just apply that and do it in your own way. Yeah, so this is the first sound that I started with. So I'll just actually jump into the patch here because they're all based on the same one. So once you get the first one, you'll be able to work it out. So this is what it sounds like just by itself. I spent quite a while on this. So the gist is basically it's some wavetables that sound a little bit grainy, a little bit messy. So these monster wavetables are great to use. In fact, I'll put the preset in the description as well, so you guys can download that yourself. Because I could go through remaking all this, but especially with these sort of steps, it does get complicated, and I think I don't want to overbear you with a bunch of information that's not really super relevant. But this is mostly just so that when I play the note, oops. It sort of filters through it and it adds a little bit more graininess to the sound as it's sort of going through the cutoff and the levels, and it's, you know, it's basically automating a lot of stuff. So everything's wubbing, opening up and wubbing with the note I'm playing. So it starts closed and it opens like that, and that really helps with obviously getting that wub sound. I don't even have much attack on there either, so it's all being controlled by the LFO. That's not even on. We've got a distortion there with a tube. We've got a compressor. I've got a comb filter here, which I don't know if... Yeah, so it does quite a lot. Actually, to be fair, it's adding a lot of graininess to the sound, whereas it would usually be more like cleaner, I guess, not as disjointed. Yeah, I mean that's the patch anyway. I mean, you can see pretty much everything that's going on in there. I'll show you the matrix as well, so you can screenshot, have a look for yourself. But that's all the stuff that's been automated or being controlled by the LFO or the macro. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So after that, added some compression, bit of saturation here. So the compression is super simple. For compression as well, something that I've learned recently that helps a lot is instead of ramming things through a compressor, instead of doing that to both of these compressors and it sounding like a sausage and it just sounding like no dynamics there, it's just boomy and weird and horrible sounding, take it off. Don't have so much compression on. Put it up to about 4 dB, 5, 6, even 7 dB, but just like put more instances on. So for example, instead of doing one compressor at 14 dB, minus 14 dB, do 2 compressors at minus 6, let's say, and that will sound miles better because the dynamics aren't being crushed as much. It's being crushed less but more often, so that'll sound miles better. After that, saturator, analog clip with about 2.86 on the drive, and everything else is normal. I think it's fully wet as well, so it's just coming through this the saturator. So I'll sort of run through it now, actually, what it sounds like without that, so I'll loop that bit. So without the compression, with it, saturation, utility, I just bring it down a few dB because it does get a little bit too loud after the saturation and stuff like that. Just to control it a little bit better. And I chucked an overdrive on there. Yeah, about 1.8K, 2.27 on the Q, so it's a little bit of a boost around sort of the high mids. Drives on 64, tone on 36, dynamics on 79%, and then dry wets on 28%. And then after that, I've got a little bit of EQ here just to shape up the sound, because obviously if I put that before the saturator and then I saturate it and then overdrive it, it's going to be adding more stuff on there. So I want it all saturated, distorted and all that, and then I put the EQ after so that I can control it after the fact. And that'll increase the amount of control you have. That'll make your track sound a lot more clean. Yeah, so after that I put an EQ on there just to clean up the low end, tail off the high end, because what I'm going to touch on now is I tail off the high end because the next section is meant to complement that, right? So after that I've got this other one. So I've got three sort of instances of it, and the sub here. So this is high, this is like the main driving force. This is some mids, sort of tonality character to sort of push the energy, and then this is the high end, to sort of get in your face, you know. Yeah, so this is the mid one, which is almost identical to the original. The only difference being I've changed the overdrive a little bit, changed the saturation a little bit, raised the gain actually, which is a bit crazy, and I've took out all the high end, all the mids, all the low end, sorry, and it's literally just from about 350 hertz to 1.6, so it's just the mids. And then following on from that, I've got this high end one, which I've basically just bounced. Oh no, I haven't. No, yeah. So this is just the exact same thing, but with a high pass, and I've changed it to sinoid fold on the saturator, about 5 dB on the gain, still boosting on the utility by 1.6, and then the overdrive is about, you know, it's really high endy. I want the overdrive to be right in the high end. So this is the in your face crispy element of the track. So if I layer that with the mid one, do you know what I mean? They complement each other really well. So then when I bring the actual body in, it's all there, and then you just need the sub to layer back over the top, which is simple sub. Sine wave, compressed slightly on 2 compressors with a medium curve on the saturator, about 13 dB. And I've put a utility on there about -8 just to bring down levels. EQ'd really harshly there. I wouldn't usually do it so harsh, but that is just the sub frequencies, and that's all I wanted from this. And then the side chain, I've got that side chain in really hard, really hard, but I guess you want it to sort of duck around the drums, and I think as long as it fits in and it sounds right, that's all that matters. Apologies. Yeah, so yeah, this is what it sounds like all together, and yeah, if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends, like, share, subscribe, do all that lovely jubbly stuff. I'm really enjoying doing these tutorials. I'm getting into the groove of things again. I had a bit of time out where I was focusing on some other things, but I'm back now, so I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of these. I'm thinking it's probably going to be one a week. That's probably my plan. So yes, I think that is everything. If you would like to be taught, then please get in touch. DJP Coaching, obviously. I do one-to-ones for music production and DJing. First lesson is £15, followed by 20 after that. If you know anyone that would be interested or would like to learn, please send them my way or tell them to get in touch themselves, and we can work out what they're looking for, and work out whether or not I can actually help them. And if I can't, then I'll pass you on to someone that can. Yes, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and for all the great comments and the suggestions and everything so far. It's much appreciated. Much love. Adios.